wanted to make it clear that in that video I was not scratching my private part.
Welcome to Good Time.
More people reached out. They're like, hey, like, how can I help? What can I do? And as I've said before, like, the one main goal is to create a space that has something for everyone. So obviously we mentioned Cole's podcast. They got sports covered. Like, he just interviewed a national champion. He won a national championship like 2 weeks ago, and he hopped on our podcast. So, like, we have that sports covered, and we're slowly starting to feel finally that, like, we're getting there. We may not be there yet. It's a work in progress always, but we're getting there. So I do want to mention, coming up, we'll probably see a little bit of an introduction on Monday, the Behind the Time episode that drops on Monday. But we're bringing on something very different than what we normally do. We are going to start a sketch comedy show that will be on YouTube. Two guys, Brian and Joey, two of the funniest people I know, seriously. And I got to know them through, well, Brian I went to school with through middle school, but Joey I met through YouTube and stuff like this. So again, it's just a way I'm able to connect with people through all this is awesome.
Are you in trouble?
Are you in trouble?
I am.
Do you want to go on the run?
We're going on the run.
We're going on the run.
On the run.
On the run.
We're running from the police.
We're going to change ourselves.
We're going to change our hair.
And our shirt.
And laugh a lot.
Maybe kiss. Maybe kiss a little.
Ha ha ha.
Right?
Ha ha ha.
We should probably kiss a little bit.
Ha 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 ha. Dye my hair, Giselle. Dye my hair.
It's Tiffany.
That's cool. I'm excited for this hair.
I wouldn't be.
What's up, guys? This is my Aunt Tracy,
It's Gazelle.
and she's going to straighten my hair. Hey, Brian, nice hair.
YouTube, man, YouTube.
Thanks. You think we look different enough where the police won't find us?
100%.
Wonderful. We also look different enough to, I don't know, maybe call ourselves some characters. And Brian, characters is what's coming to Good Time with our new show, Junkyard.
Junkyard. It's going to be a sketch comedy show, mixed platform.
I'm doing some jokes. Just look out for it.
Awesome.
We just finished watching episode 3 of Matt James' season, and I just want to let everyone know that I was 1,000% totally right about Katie.
He thinks he knows everything just because Katie comes in and is a good person.
Everyone was on me when I was like, Katie is going to be in the Final Four.
No one was on him.
People were on me.
Okay,
Confirmed
I
people were
never
on me.
said that she was a bad person or that she was like
You judged her.
good.
You judged the book by her cover. She walked in waving her vibrator around, and you were like, "No, I don't like that one." And I was like, I saw deeper.
Did I ever say I didn't like her? I just know she's not going to make it far.
That's
I
to be
know
determined.
it. She
Her
won't.
stock is rising. Her stock is rising.
Maybe.
Podcast is back. Put me in, coach. A lot of new things added to it. Not really, but the whole dynamics changed. I added Ben to it, good friend of mine. Just because I feel like that's what the podcast needed, was another personality, someone that I can conversate with outside of the interview. And it's easy for us to kind of joke around when there's more people in the room, especially when we're on a Zoom call with the person that we're doing an interview with. So I do like the addition of Ben. A lot of fun, a lot of good times ahead of us. Having Big E on was a lot of fun. The way that I contacted him, I just hit him up on Instagram. Luckily for me, I grew up playing basketball with him, so that relationship with that was still there, I guess. I haven't talked to him in quite some time, really. Last time I talked to him, I think was our senior years of high school, and he was poking fun at me or saying like, "Let's go Jenkins," when I was at the free throw line or some bullshit. So it was fun to talk to him in a nice way, away from competition, and we got to know pretty much the ins and outs of Alabama and their football team this year. Wasn't anything that really surprised me with that. Kind of asked the basic questions when it comes to protocols and whatever. They treat their opponents like COVID. They don't give a shit about either of them. So it was easy to talk to him about that kind of stuff. It's easy to talk to a guy about college football when they win every game by 30, 40 points and beat the good teams by 3 touchdowns. So I wish that I talked to him about a game that we had at the Monon Center when we were on IBA Select. Make the story short, there was a game that we were playing together, and a ref was throwing out a fan in the stands, and the fan came down into the court, the parent, I guess, don't want to call him a fan, but he was a parent, and got in the face of the ref, and the ref then threw him out. Guy hits the ball out of his hand, smacks the shit out of the ball out of the ref's hand, and the ref just looks at the ball, looks up, and immediately slaps him in the back of the head. That would have been a funny story to talk about. It's one of the funnier ones that I could tell. Sadly, we didn't get to it.
Can you remember your first ever practice with Bama?
Yeah, I had to go against, at the time he was starting linebacker. We had this drill where it's literally just like, we call it CTE drill.
Oh,
it's
damn.
literally just to go head up with somebody and try and hit them as hard as you can.
Yeah.
And like, it was like our starting middle linebacker at the time. His name was Dylan Moses. This is my first practice like ever hitting somebody from Alabama.
Yeah.
And like, he knocks my helmet off. He's like, yeah, like everybody's like, welcome to college football. I was like, shit, like.
Dylan Moses is a big boy too, so that probably didn't feel too good.
Do I think that this is the peak of the podcast? No, not at all. I think every episode is a new peak. Every person that we bring on, or that I bring on, me and Ben bring on, we try to, let them tell the stories, let them bring the dynamic to the podcast. So I don't think that there's ever going to be a peak, really. Maybe once we get 1 million listeners, then that's when we'll peak. But no, we're nowhere near the peak, and I'm excited to see where we go from here. We're going to be trying to drop a couple episodes a week, perhaps, because why not? But yeah, that's it. Let the good times roll, baby.
We've seen Tom's version of Spidey in 5 different movies, and he's only suffered one major consequence, and we haven't even seen the repercussions of that consequence. So now moving forward in Spider-Man 3, I really want to see him suffer those repercussions, and I don't want them to hold back, because it's through suffering that Peter Parker and Spider-Man grow as a character. The whole point of these stories is to literally show kids and inspire kids that even when life is beating you down, even when it's rocking you down to the core of your soul, you can still rise back up. And that's what I want to see. I want to see Peter Parker rocked to the core. I want to see him beaten down. And then through all of that, he finds the strength within himself to rise back up.
As soon as things start getting hard and you start getting a little pushback from people who kind of doubt you, whatever that goal is that you're chasing, that's when it's the easiest to give up. But also, like, I've heard this from a few people where it's like, when things get hardest, that's when you're so close to something special, something important. As soon as it's hard, that's when you need to just find that extra gear, just keep going.
And the thing is that once you push past those hard moments, it's almost like you're immortalized after that. It's almost like you're so trained for this level of judgment, hate, and criticism that nothing moving past all that, nothing will faze you.
Yeah, dream girl, dreaming, I be dreaming. Missing all the days you got me fiending. I said I love you, babe, you know I mean it. Hey, yeah, dream girl, I be dreaming.